Ladies and gentlemen, we all have 24 hours in a day. Yet some of us feel like there's never enough time, while others seem to accomplish so much. The difference is not the hours themselves, but how we choose to manage them. Time in its truest form is equal for everyone. It's not about having more time, but about using the time you have wisely. Imagine if you could maximize those 24 hours to achieve everything you wanted. How would your life change? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that time is our enemy, but in reality, it's our best friend when used correctly. We often get distracted by things that don't matter and lose track of the most important moments. We scroll through social media, waste time on meaningless conversations, or delay things that matter most. The key is not to eliminate distractions completely, but to understand how and when to manage them. When you start thinking about managing your 24 hours, the first thing that comes to mind is probably that you need a plan. But what kind of plan? The truth is there's no one-size-fits-all approach to time management. What works for one person might not work for another, and that's okay. However, one of the most powerful tools in managing time is setting clear goals and prioritizing them. This step is often overlooked because it seems too obvious, but without this foundation, everything else falls apart. Think about it. Without goals, you're just drifting through your day. You're reacting to whatever comes your way, whether it's a text, a call, or something unexpected that pops up. You might feel like you're busy, but are you actually being productive? That's the key question. When you don't set goals, you can easily get stuck in a loop of doing tasks that are urgent but not necessarily important. This is where prioritization comes in. The first thing you need to do is ask yourself what's truly important to you. What are your long-term goals? What do you want to achieve in the next 6 months, a year, or even 5 years? Once you know your big picture goals, you can break them down into smaller, more manageable tasks. For instance, if your goal is to get healthier, you might start with creating a workout routine or cooking healthier meals. If your goal is to build a successful business, you could break it down into tasks like setting up a website, creating a marketing plan, and reaching out to potential clients. Prioritization also means knowing what can wait. Not every task deserves the same amount of attention. You've probably heard the saying, not everything that's urgent is important. That's absolutely true. Some tasks may seem pressing in the moment, but they're not aligned with your long-term goals. For example, responding to an email immediately might seem like a priority, but is it really helping you reach your bigger goals? If it's not, you might want to schedule it for later. Time blocking is one of the most effective techniques for prioritization. It involves breaking your day into chunks of time, each dedicated to a specific task or group of tasks. For example, you could decide that from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. you'll work on your business or study, and from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. you'll check emails or handle smaller tasks. The key is that you're not multitasking. You're giving each task the attention it deserves, and you're focused on one thing at a time. It's also essential to be realistic about how much time you need for each task. Some people try to do everything in one go, only to burn out or feel like they're not accomplishing anything. Instead of overloading yourself, assess how long each task will actually take. You might be surprised by how much you can do when you give yourself enough time and focus. One common mistake is to prioritize tasks based on how long they'll take, rather than how important they are. For example, it's easy to check off small tasks like organizing your desk or responding to quick emails, but are those tasks truly moving you closer to your goals? No, they're just easy to do. Instead, focus on the tasks that will make the biggest difference in the long run, even if they take more time and energy to complete. Prioritization helps you avoid feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of things you have to do. It brings clarity to your day and ensures that every hour is spent moving you closer to your desired outcome. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. When it comes to managing your time, one of the most important steps is setting clear and achievable goals. It sounds simple, right? Yet, many of us go through our days without having a clear understanding of what we truly want to achieve. We often have vague ideas, like I want to be successful, or I want to be healthier, but these goals are too broad and not specific enough to make a tangible impact. Setting clear goals helps you focus your energy, giving you a sense of direction and purpose. Without them, you might find yourself wandering aimlessly, feeling busy but not truly productive. Start by breaking down your long-term vision into smaller, more manageable goals. For instance, if your long-term goal is to become financially independent, that's a huge undertaking. It's not something you can achieve overnight, but if you break it down into smaller steps like create a budget, start saving X amount each month, or invest in learning a new skill, it becomes more achievable. These smaller goals act as stepping stones, guiding you toward the bigger picture. They are the foundation upon which you can build your success. The key to effective goal setting is specificity. Instead of setting a goal like, I want to get fit, try making it more specific. I want to work out 3 times a week for 30 minutes. This is something you can measure, track, and hold yourself accountable for. Vague goals are easy to ignore or put off, but when you have clear, specific goals, it's easier to stay focused and motivated. You can see your progress, which boosts your confidence and drives you to continue pushing forward. Another important aspect of goal setting is making sure your goals are achievable. We've all been guilty of setting goals that are too ambitious, which can be overwhelming and discouraging. For example, saying I'm going to exercise every single day for an hour might sound great in theory, but it's not realistic for everyone. It might seem like a great goal at the start, but over time you'll likely find it hard to keep up with. Achievable goals are those that challenge you without overwhelming you. They should stretch you, but not break you. To ensure your goals are achievable, start small. It's better to aim for progress rather than perfection. Rather than setting a goal to run a marathon right away, start by running for 10 minutes a day. Once that becomes a habit, you can gradually increase your time and distance. Slowly but surely, you'll build the endurance and confidence needed to reach your larger goal. Small, achievable goals help you build momentum, which is crucial for staying motivated and committed. It's also important to make your goals realistic in terms of timing. If you set a goal to accomplish something in an unrealistic time frame, you're setting yourself up for failure. Let's say your goal is to launch a business, but you give yourself only a month to do it. That might not be enough time to fully develop a business plan, secure funding, or market your product. Realistic timing helps you avoid frustration and burnout. It's important to assess how much time you can realistically dedicate to each goal and set deadlines that push you without being impossible to meet. One powerful technique to help with goal setting is to make your goals measurable. This means defining clear criteria for success. Instead of saying, I want to read more books, say, I want to read 1 book per month. Having measurable goals allows you to track your progress and celebrate small wins along the way. These small victories can be incredibly motivating and help you maintain focus and drive. When you can see that you're getting closer to your goal, it becomes easier to stay committed. As you set your goals, remember that they should be aligned with your values and long-term vision. Goals that are in sync with your passions and core beliefs are more likely to inspire you to take action. When your goals reflect what truly matters to you, they feel less like tasks and more like steps toward the life you want to create. For example, if personal growth is important to you, Your goals might include learning new skills, reading, or attending workshops. When you're working on goals that align with your values, the process becomes much more fulfilling. In summary, clear and achievable goals provide you with a roadmap to success. They break down your larger aspirations into smaller, actionable steps, making them easier to manage. By setting specific, measurable, and realistic goals, you create a sense of direction and purpose. You build momentum with small wins, stay motivated with measurable progress, and maintain focus by ensuring that your goals align with your values. Managing distractions is one of the most important skills you can develop when it comes to using your time effectively. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, from social media notifications to the constant buzz of emails. It's easy to get sidetracked from what you really need to be focusing on. But distractions are not just limited to technology. They can also come in the form of internal thoughts, unexpected tasks, or people interrupting your flow. The key is to learn how to manage them so that you can stay focused on what matters most. The first step in managing distractions is recognizing what distracts you in the first place. For some people, it might be the constant ping of social media notifications. For others, it might be people coming to interrupt their work or phone calls that seem urgent but aren't really important. It's crucial to identify your personal distractions so that you can take proactive steps to minimize or eliminate them. If you find that social media is a major source of distraction, you could consider turning off notifications or setting specific times during the day when you allow yourself to check it. If phone calls are a problem, consider putting your phone on silent or using apps that block certain calls during specific hours. By recognizing your distractions, you take the first step toward controlling them. Once you've identified your distractions, the next step is to create an environment that supports focus. A distraction-free environment can work wonders for your productivity. If possible, try to eliminate unnecessary clutter or noise from your workspace. This might mean cleaning your desk, turning off the TV, or moving to a quieter room. Some people find that listening to certain types of music or background noise helps them concentrate, while others prefer complete silence. The key is to create an environment that works for you and minimizes the chances of distractions sneaking in. For instance, if you work from home, let your family or roommates know that you need uninterrupted time to focus on a task. Setting boundaries with those around you is essential to maintaining focus. In addition to external distractions, internal distractions can also derail your focus. These can be thoughts that pop up during your work, like worrying about an upcoming meeting, wondering what's for lunch, or thinking about a personal problem. These types of distractions are harder to manage because they come from within. One way to deal with internal distractions is through mindfulness or meditation techniques. When you find yourself getting lost in your thoughts, gently bring your attention back to the task at hand. It might take some practice, but over time, you'll get better at staying present and focusing on what you need to do. Another way to manage internal distractions is to jot down any thoughts that are distracting you, and then set them aside to deal with later. Sometimes just acknowledging the thought and letting it go for the time being can help you regain focus. Time blocking is another powerful technique for managing distractions. Instead of trying to work on multiple tasks at once, which is often a recipe for disaster, time blocking allows you to dedicate specific periods of time to a single task. This way, you can focus completely on one thing without the temptation to jump to something else. For example, you could set aside an hour in the morning to work on an important project without checking your email or social media. During that time, your full attention is dedicated to that project and you can make significant progress. The structure of time blocking helps minimize distractions by giving you a clear idea of what you should be focusing on at any given moment. One of the best ways to handle distractions is to train your mind to focus for longer periods. Start by setting a timer for a short period, say 20 to 30 minutes, and work on a task without interruption during that time. After the timer goes off, take a short break, then start again. Over time, you can gradually increase the amount of time you focus on a task. This technique, known as the Pomodoro technique, is an excellent way to train your brain to stay focused and minimize distractions. It also helps to build momentum and make the work feel less overwhelming, as you can focus on it in smaller, manageable chunks. When it comes to managing distractions, it's important to recognize that some interruptions are inevitable. Life happens, and sometimes you can't avoid being interrupted. The key is to manage how you respond to those distractions. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a step back and assess whether the distraction is worth your attention. If it is, deal with it quickly and get back to your work. If it's not, let it go and refocus. It's also helpful to schedule time for breaks or for handling unexpected tasks. By setting aside time in your day to deal with interruptions, you reduce the stress of trying to juggle everything at once. This allows you to maintain a sense of control over your time and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Managing distractions is about creating the right environment, being aware of what pulls your attention away, and training yourself to focus. By proactively addressing distractions and staying committed to your goals, you can make the most of your time and achieve what you set out to do. It's a process that requires discipline, but the payoff is worth it. As you get better at managing distractions, you'll find that your productivity improves, and you'll have more time to enjoy the things that truly matter. Creating a daily routine or schedule is one of the most effective ways to manage your time and ensure you're making the most out of each day. Without a plan, it's easy to get lost in the chaos of everyday life and feel like you're constantly running around trying to catch up. A routine provides structure and helps you allocate your time more efficiently. The beauty of a well-thought-out routine is that it removes the need for constant decision-making. When you have a set schedule, you know exactly what to do at each moment, which reduces stress and increases productivity. The first step in creating an effective daily routine is assessing your current habits and time usage. Take a few days to track how you're spending your time. Write down everything you do, from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed. This process might feel tedious, but it's essential for understanding where your time is actually going. You may be surprised at how much time is wasted on activities that don't contribute to your overall well-being or goals. Once you have a clear picture of your daily habits, it's time to identify areas where you can make improvements. Maybe you're spending too much time on social media, or perhaps you're putting off tasks that could be done in just a few minutes. By identifying these areas, you can start making changes that will help you be more productive and focused. Next, it's important to set clear and realistic goals for your routine. What do you want to achieve each day? What are your top priorities? It's crucial to understand that your routine should align with your long-term goals and values. For example, if health is a priority for you, your routine might include time for exercise, meal prep, and self-care. If you're focused on building a career, your routine might include blocks of time dedicated to work tasks, networking, or skill development. The idea is to create a routine that supports the life you want to live, not one that forces you to fit into someone else's idea of success. When you create your schedule, it's essential to be realistic about how much time each task will take. One of the most common mistakes people make when building a routine is overloading their day with too many tasks or unrealistic time expectations. This leads to frustration and feelings of failure when things don't get done. Instead, focus on quality over quantity. Prioritize the most important tasks and give yourself enough time to complete them well. A productive day doesn't have to be a day filled with endless tasks. Sometimes focusing on a few important things and doing them well is all you need. Another crucial aspect of a daily routine is balance. It's easy to fall into the trap of working nonstop or trying to achieve too much in a day, but this approach often leads to burnout. A balanced routine includes time for work, rest, and personal activities. Be sure to schedule breaks throughout the day to recharge. Whether it's a short walk, a coffee break, or time spent with loved ones, taking breaks is essential for maintaining focus and energy. Without breaks, your productivity will start to decline, and you'll feel exhausted both mentally and physically. Consistency is key when it comes to sticking to a routine. It might be difficult to follow a new routine at first, but the more consistently you follow it, the easier it becomes. Try to wake up and go to bed at the same time each day. Create a morning and evening routine that helps you start and end your day on the right note. For example, a morning routine might include activities like stretching, reading, or journaling, while an evening routine could involve preparing for the next day, unwinding, and getting enough sleep. By creating consistent habits, you train your brain to follow a predictable pattern, which helps reduce decision fatigue and boosts your overall productivity. It's also important to remain flexible with your routine. Life doesn't always go as planned, and there will be times when things don't go according to your schedule. Instead of getting frustrated or upset, try to adapt and adjust your routine as needed. Flexibility allows you to maintain control over your day without feeling overwhelmed when unexpected changes arise. You can always make up for lost time or shift things around, as long as you stay focused on your overall goals. Reflect on your routine periodically. It's easy to fall into the trap of sticking to a routine just because it's familiar, but it's essential to evaluate whether it's still working for you. Are you achieving the goals you've set? Do you feel energized and productive, or are you exhausted and unfulfilled? Regularly reviewing your routine allows you to make adjustments and improvements to ensure you're always moving in the right direction. As your priorities and goals change, your routine should evolve with them. A routine is not a rigid set of rules, but a flexible guide that helps you stay on track and make the most of your time. Taking regular breaks is not just a luxury, but a necessary component of a productive and healthy daily routine. It might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, when you have a lot of tasks to accomplish, the last thing you may want to do is take time away from them. But research and experience show that taking breaks improves focus, enhances productivity, and helps maintain mental and physical well-being. The key to using breaks effectively is understanding why they're important and how to structure them in a way that benefits you most. When you're working on a task for an extended period, your mind becomes fatigued, even if you're deeply engaged in what you're doing. Your ability to focus and process information declines as your attention span shortens. That's where breaks come in. Short, frequent breaks throughout the day give your brain the chance to rest and recharge, preventing the mental fatigue that can come from working nonstop. Taking a break doesn't mean you've given up on the task at hand. In fact, it means you're optimizing your brain's ability to perform at its best. A break allows you to reset, so when you return to your work, you're more focused, refreshed, and productive. One of the most effective ways to take breaks is to follow the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in focused bursts followed by short breaks. For example, you could work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles of this, you take a longer break, usually 15 to 30 minutes. This method has proven to enhance concentration and prevent burnout. The short bursts of work allow you to remain intensely focused. while the breaks provide your mind with the rest it needs to maintain that focus. Over time, the brain learns to associate these work and rest cycles with productivity, making it easier to stay on task. It's important to understand that not all breaks are created equal. The way you spend your break time can have a significant impact on how effective it is. If you spend your break scrolling through social media or checking emails, you may not fully recharge. Instead, try activities that help your mind detach from work. For example, go for a quick walk, do some stretching, meditate, or practice deep breathing exercises. These activities help lower stress levels, boost your energy, and reset your focus. Taking a walk outside, even if it's just for a few minutes, can be incredibly refreshing. The change of scenery, fresh air, and physical activity help stimulate blood flow and give your brain a much-needed break from the task you were working on. It's also essential to recognize that taking breaks isn't just about mental fatigue. It's also about your physical well-being. Sitting at a desk for hours without moving can lead to physical discomfort and long-term health issues, such as back pain, neck stiffness, and poor posture. Regular breaks allow you to stand up, stretch, and move your body, reducing the physical strain that comes from prolonged sitting. Even a few minutes of movement, such as walking around or doing light stretches, can relieve tension and prevent stiffness. Another important factor in taking breaks is knowing when to take them. It's easy to push through tasks thinking that a break will slow down your progress. But often, the longer you work without taking a break, the less effective you become. If you're feeling tired, frustrated, or distracted, it's a sign that your brain needs rest. Pushing through those moments can lead to mistakes or a decrease in the quality of your work. Instead, take a break before you reach the point of exhaustion. It's not about waiting until you're completely burned out, but recognizing the early signs of fatigue and giving yourself a chance to recharge. Some people believe that breaks waste time and that they should only be taken when absolutely necessary. However, this view is misguided. Breaks, when taken properly, actually save time in the long run. By allowing yourself to rest, you're preventing mental and physical fatigue, which helps you maintain a high level of productivity throughout the day. Without breaks, you might push through and get more done in the short term, but you'll likely burn out faster, making it harder to continue working efficiently. In contrast, taking regular breaks allows you to work at a sustained pace, which is far more effective in the long run. One of the challenges of taking breaks, especially for people who are highly motivated or busy, is feeling guilty about stepping away from work. There's a common misconception that taking breaks is a sign of laziness or lack of commitment, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Taking breaks is a way of investing in your productivity and well-being. It's a way to honor your need for rest and ensure that you can continue working effectively. It's important to shift your mindset and recognize that breaks are an essential part of the process, not a hindrance. In conclusion, regular breaks are a vital part of maintaining focus, productivity, and overall well-being. Whether you follow a structured method like the Pomodoro technique or simply take breaks when you feel mentally or physically fatigued, the important thing is to recognize their value. By taking short breaks throughout the day, you give your brain and body the rest they need to perform at their best. Reflecting on your day is a powerful tool for personal growth and productivity. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life, constantly moving from one task to the next without taking the time to stop and reflect on what you've done and how you can improve. Reflection allows you to take a step back, look at your actions, and assess whether you are truly progressing toward your goals. It gives you the opportunity to learn from both your successes and your mistakes, making it a key part of becoming more effective with your time and efforts. One of the main benefits of reflection is that it helps you identify patterns in your behavior and actions. Sometimes You might not even realize that you're consistently falling into certain habits or making the same mistakes. When you reflect on your day, you can ask yourself critical questions like, what went well today? What didn't go as planned? Did I stay focused on my most important tasks, or did I get distracted? These questions allow you to gain insight into how you're spending your time, which can help you understand where you're succeeding and where you need to make changes. The act of reflection also allows you to assess your goals and progress. Many people set goals at the beginning of the year or month, but forget to check in on their progress. Reflection helps you stay aligned with your larger vision by reminding you of the goals you've set. For instance, if one of your goals is to improve your fitness, reflecting on how often you've worked out or how well you've stuck to a healthy eating plan can provide valuable feedback. If you find that you've been neglecting this goal, reflection gives you the chance to course correct and refocus your energy. It allows you to celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and to plan how you'll tackle challenges moving forward. Another key aspect of reflection is identifying your time management habits. It's common to feel like you don't have enough time in the day, but often the issue isn't the amount of time you have, but how you're using it. Reflection helps you understand where your time is going. Perhaps you're spending more time on social media than you realize, or maybe you're overcommitting to tasks that aren't aligned with your priorities. Reflecting on how your day unfolds can show you if you're being productive or if there are areas where you're wasting time. This self-awareness helps you improve your time management and use your 24 hours more efficiently. Reflection also helps you maintain a healthy mindset. We all face challenges and setbacks, and sometimes it's easy to get discouraged. However, when you take the time to reflect on your day, you can shift your perspective. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, you can focus on the lessons learned and how you can improve next time. This positive reframing keeps you motivated and moving forward rather than getting stuck in frustration or self-doubt. Reflection allows you to embrace mistakes as opportunities to grow, rather than viewing them as failures. While reflection is important, it's equally crucial to make it a consistent habit. It's easy to skip a day or two, but when reflection becomes a regular part of your routine, it becomes more powerful. You don't need to spend hours reflecting. Just a few minutes each evening can be enough to gain valuable insights. One effective approach is to take 5 minutes at the end of each day to jot down what went well, what didn't, and what you could do differently tomorrow. Over time, this daily practice can build momentum and help you stay on track with your goals. In addition to daily reflection, weekly or monthly reflections are also valuable for gaining a broader perspective on your progress. A weekly reflection allows you to look at your accomplishments over the past week, assess any roadblocks you encountered, and plan for the upcoming week. Monthly reflections are especially useful for evaluating your progress toward long-term goals. These periodic check-ins give you the chance to adjust your strategies and realign your focus, ensuring that you stay on the right path. Reflection is also a tool for increasing your self-awareness. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of others, whether it's work, family, or social obligations. But reflection gives you the space to focus on yourself, your needs, and your personal growth. It helps you connect with your values and make sure you're living in a way that aligns with them. When you reflect on your actions, you're able to assess whether your choices are bringing you closer to the person you want to become, or if adjustments need to be made. Ultimately, the act of reflection provides clarity, helping you make better decisions, manage your time more effectively, and stay on track with your goals. It's an investment in yourself that pays off by creating a deeper understanding of how you work, what motivates you, and where you need to improve. With consistent reflection, you develop the ability to refine your habits and mindset, leading to continuous personal growth and success. Staying flexible and adapting to changes is one of the most valuable skills in time management and personal growth. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how well you plan or organize your day, unexpected events will always come up. The ability to remain flexible and adjust your plans accordingly allows you to maintain control over your time without feeling overwhelmed. It's easy to get frustrated when things don't go according to plan, but the key to success is not about rigidly sticking to your schedule, but learning to navigate the changes and adjust with ease. Positive mindset. Flexibility allows you to cope with unexpected disruptions in your day without losing your focus. For example, a sudden phone call or an urgent request from a colleague can interrupt your workflow. If you don't have the flexibility to adjust, these disruptions can lead to stress and frustration. However, by remaining calm and reassessing your priorities, you can make the necessary adjustments without feeling like everything is falling apart. The ability to adapt ensures that you are not locked into a set schedule that leaves no room for change. It allows you to handle whatever life throws at you while still staying on track with your main goals. One of the most important aspects of being flexible is having a mindset that views changes as opportunities rather than obstacles. Instead of seeing an unexpected task or a change in your plans as a setback, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and each one provides a chance to improve your problem-solving skills, manage your time better, and develop resilience. By shifting your perspective, you embrace change rather than resist it. This positive attitude helps you maintain control over your day without allowing disruptions to derail your overall progress. A key element of flexibility is the ability to reassess your priorities regularly. Life is constantly evolving, and so are your goals and responsibilities. What seemed like an important task at the beginning of the day might no longer hold the same weight by the afternoon. The ability to reassess allows you to focus on what's truly important at any given moment. For example, if you've planned a day of meetings but an urgent personal issue arises, being flexible means adjusting your schedule and addressing the personal matter first, knowing that you can't reschedule the meetings later. This adaptability ensures that you stay aligned with your values and priorities, rather than sticking to a plan that no longer serves you. Flexibility also means being willing to delegate or ask for help when necessary. Sometimes your to-do list becomes overwhelming, and you realize that it's impossible to do everything by yourself. When this happens, it's important to stay flexible and delegate tasks to others. This doesn't mean giving up control, but rather recognizing that you don't have to do everything on your own. Asking for help or outsourcing tasks is an effective way to manage your time and energy. Being flexible enough to seek support when needed not only lightens your load, but also allows you to focus on the tasks that truly require your attention. Being adaptable also means being comfortable with uncertainty. The future is always uncertain, and it's impossible to predict exactly how things will unfold. A rigid mindset often leads to frustration when things don't go as planned. However, a flexible approach allows you to embrace uncertainty and take things as they come. Instead of worrying about what could go wrong, you focus on the present moment and adjust as needed. This approach reduces stress and keeps you focused on the bigger picture, rather than getting bogged down by the details of each situation. Another important aspect of flexibility is the ability to learn from mistakes and setbacks. No matter how well you plan, things will sometimes go wrong. Maybe you miss a deadline or you fail to meet a goal you set for yourself. Instead of beating yourself up over these failures, use them as opportunities for growth. Reflect on what went wrong, learn from the experience, and make the necessary adjustments to improve your approach next time. Flexibility involves accepting that failure is part of the journey, and using it as a stepping stone towards success. Time management and flexibility go hand in hand. While a structured routine is important for productivity, a rigid approach to time management can cause unnecessary stress when things don't go as planned. Flexibility ensures that you can adapt your schedule and priorities as needed, without feeling guilty or anxious about changing your plans. It's about balancing structure with spontaneity, knowing that while having a plan is important, being open to change is just as essential. In a fast-paced world where everything is constantly changing, the ability to stay flexible and adapt is crucial. Whether it's adjusting to new tasks, handling unexpected challenges, or reassessing your priorities, flexibility allows you to maintain control over your time while navigating life's uncertainties. By embracing change with a positive attitude, reassessing your goals regularly, and being open to help and new opportunities, you'll find that you can manage your time more effectively and with less stress. Flexibility is not about abandoning your plans. It's about learning how to make adjustments while staying focused on your long-term vision. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful skills you can develop, yet it's often one of the hardest to master. We live in a world that encourages saying yes to everything. People often feel guilty or selfish for turning down requests, whether it's a social invitation, a work task, or a favor someone asks of you. But the truth is, saying yes to everything can lead to burnout, stress, and an overwhelming schedule. In fact, saying no can be a form of self-care and a key strategy for better time management. The first step in learning to say no is understanding that your time is valuable. You only have a limited amount of time each day, and every yes you say to someone or something means you are giving away that time. When you say yes without thinking, you might find yourself overwhelmed with commitments that don't align with your priorities or goals. If you constantly say yes, you will eventually stretch yourself too thin, leaving little energy or time for what truly matters to you. Recognizing that your time is precious is essential in understanding why setting boundaries is necessary. The next step is to assess whether the request is truly important to you. It's easy to say yes out of a sense of obligation or fear of disappointing someone, but that doesn't mean the request aligns with your goals or values. Ask yourself, is this request something that will move me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, then it's probably time to say no to that request. Saying no doesn't mean you're being rude or unkind. It simply means you are being intentional with your time. You are making space for the things that truly matter. One of the most common reasons people struggle with saying no is the fear of letting others down. Many people are people pleasers by nature, and they want to be liked and respected by others. However, constantly saying yes can lead to resentment and frustration. When you overcommit, you end up spreading yourself too thin, and instead of helping others effectively, you end up disappointing everyone, including yourself. It's crucial to remember that saying no is not a reflection of your character. In fact, it's a sign of strength and self-awareness. It shows that you are putting your own needs and priorities first, which ultimately benefits everyone. Setting clear boundaries is essential when learning to say no. Boundaries aren't about being harsh or shutting people out. They are about knowing your limits and sticking to them. It's about being able to protect your time and energy for the things that matter most. Boundaries help you avoid feeling overwhelmed and allow you to focus on your priorities. They give you the freedom to say yes to the things that align with your goals and no to the things that don't. Establishing clear boundaries also makes it easier for others to understand your limits and respect them. Another important aspect of saying no is learning how to say it politely and with confidence. Saying no doesn't have to be confrontational or awkward. You can politely decline a request by explaining your situation or offering an alternative solution. For example, if a colleague asks you to take on a project and you're already swamped, you could say, "I'd love to help, but I'm currently focused on another task that requires my full attention. Perhaps someone else can assist with this." This way, you're still being respectful while setting a clear boundary. It's also important to remember that saying no is not about being selfish or inconsiderate. It's about being honest with yourself and others. When you say no, you are preserving your energy for the things that are most important to you. It's an act of self-respect and self-care. Additionally, saying no can help you build stronger relationships. People will appreciate your honesty and they will respect your boundaries. It allows you to show up as your best self, rather than spreading yourself too thin and ultimately letting others down. Over time, saying no becomes easier as you practice it. Start small by turning down small requests that aren't in alignment with your goals. As you build the habit of saying no, you'll gain more confidence in setting boundaries and protecting your time. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become with declining requests that don't serve your purpose. Eventually, you'll find that saying no becomes an empowering tool that allows you to focus on the things that matter most to you.